Mamet. I'm the president for the Rotary Club of Harrisburg, and I invite you to join us for a traditional luncheon meeting, service on a Monday, or Rotary alternate meeting. Everyone's invited, and that means you. Check out our website or Facebook page for more information.
Beth and I were very lucky to attend the Mechanicsburg North Rotary meeting recently, and it was the day that Rick Copeland spoke about the Rotary Veterans Initiative, which was started by the Carlisle and Mechanicsburg North clubs to raise money to provide scholarship funds for veterans experiencing need at Penn State, and we also do Central Penn College.
And hack.
And Hack.
Should have been at the first of the list.
Yeah. Second alphabetically, but first in our hearts, right, Ski? So Rick, Colonel Copeland is the chair of the RVI, the Rotary Veterans Initiative. You're going to hear about that. He's a past president of the Rotary Club of Carlisle. I do not know whether he has a cool shirt like Beth. Was a professor at the Army War College, is an adjunct professor at Elizabethtown College, and the director of the Carlisle Area School Board currently. He is also a board member at the Employment Skills Center in Carlisle. His Army job was he was an intel officer for the 82nd and in combat, served in the 82nd Airborne Parachute Assault of Panama, and did peacekeeping work in Bosnia. He is a graduate of the U.S. Military Academy at West Point.
Beat Navy.
I'm sorry, that for those of you who didn't hear that online, he said, "Go Navy." The Department of Homeland Security and Katrina Relief, and he is the husband of and a father and has two amazing daughters. Rick, you're up.
I love to start this conversation by showing you Amanda Palm, who, oh, by the way, I planned this perfectly, Ski, is a graduate of Hack. And she was a student at Hack when this picture was taken. And I don't have to read the whole thing to you, but bottom line, she says, and this is her words, she sent us a very nice thank you note. I'm sure that, you know, the leadership at Hack has something to do with that. But anyway, it says, "Thank you for selecting me to receive this scholarship. I appreciate it, blah, 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 blah. I am a full-time student and a single mother. So any money helps." Okay, I happened to do a little research, and I now know that guess what she's doing now? She is a registered nurse doing registered nurse work in Central PA. How cool is that? And she was a veteran, and we helped her. And, you know, we don't take too much credit. Obviously, Hack and other places deserve all the credit, but we help. And my understanding or my memory is we gave her essentially a $500 book voucher to use. And you all know, you know, the expense of college, and you've got, and people always ask, well, Rick, what about the GI Bill? Doesn't that cover everything they need? And those that were there on the 10th of September at our barn at that fundraiser heard Randy Raymer explain very clearly, and I've heard many others say, no, it doesn't really cover everything we need, particularly if we're in a situation like this. Single mother, obviously infant son. So what I always ask here, starting off with a softball, is who are we helping here? Who are we helping? It's obvious. Not only are we helping Amanda, but we're helping her son. And that's true of many of the veterans we help because they have their own families. All we're looking at is that's the corn crib at the Copeland family farm. And what we did, as you can clearly see, if you can't see anything else on that slide, you can clearly see great big American flag, giant. You see the giant. So we did the flag, and we did our sponsors' banners, and we had a team from Giant, and we had a cross section of the community to include some Afghan folks that have recently come to America from Afghanistan that we're trying to help out, and many other community members are doing that. I'll leave it. So there we are giving $7,500. I'm now making a plug for something we're doing in the future that I'm going to ask you to help encourage veterans that you know or anybody. And this is $7,500 for something called a business startup weekend that Penn State Harrisburg is going to be doing. Guess when it starts? It starts on Veterans Day of this year. So what we're already starting to do, and I'll send this around via all the good Rotary channels, and we mentioned it that day, is to say, hey, veterans, if you're interested in starting your own business, which is one of the things that we're helping with, then go to that weekend. It's free, and you can learn and obviously a lot about everything, maybe not everything, but a lot about starting your own business. So we're encouraging veterans to do that. So the point of this slide, and yes, these are all Penn State Harrisburg folks. And what I'm doing there is saying RVI invest in veterans' career dreams. And that's exactly what we're doing. In other words, well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our story and how we came to be. But now we're focused on veteran education, training, and job search. You probably can't read that at the bottom. That's our mission. And obviously what we're thinking about and showing you with this slide is these are folks that you can see, maybe not, but Max Figueroa, Army Cyber Corps officer. He's already there. He is an Army Cyber Corps officer now. In other words, that was his dream. He's doing it. And Michelle Nifong, PhD in neuro-TSD researcher. I know that when that picture was taken, she was already doing COVID research. So pretty powerful stuff. And then a guy that, Alex Hill, who is in uniform on the right there, actually a banker in Carlisle, and his dream is to have a small business of his own to support his, get this, 4 children. You get the theme again, helping not only the individual former service person, but also the children. And the others you can see, I couldn't help but put up the big American flag behind Carly there. And somehow this, for some reason, there we go. Oh. Thanks. Okay, so very quickly, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the story of how we came to be. And these 2 gentlemen that we helped initially, Sergeant Dennis Leonard and Jeffrey Campbell, U.S. Navy. So Bob Egley, Don Jacobs, were not Rotarians yet, but they were going to be. And unfortunately, neither one of these gentlemen are with us any longer. But they both got together, and they were big investors, big golfers. And they said, hey, this is like 2011. And they said, hey, what can we do to help some of these soldiers, sailors, and Marines that are coming back from Afghanistan and Iraq and are very severely injured? Literally to include, as you can tell, Sergeant Dennis Leonard there without any legs. So they said, we'll do a golf tournament. And most golf tournaments, we raise like $15,000, maybe $20,000. And so they reached out to the Rotary Club of Mechanicsburg North, Clarence Asbury and Company. Somebody in here probably knows Clarence. And then they reached out before we even, in other words, we're still thinking about this. They reached out to the Rotary Club of Carlisle, good old Alden Cunningham, and then he taps me on the shoulder, and Bill Blankmeyer and others. And so we do a golf tournament to raise maybe $15,000. Well, we raised $100,000 the first year. And then we did it 5 more times. So what we did initially was we built, with the help of Helping a Hero national organization, we built 2 homes for severely injured veterans. And that was a big chunk of that money. But then we said, not so much of a demand for that anymore. Let's now think about what we're going to do. We said, it's education and training, at least. So we said, hey, that's what we got. We got to support students at HAC. We got to support students at Central Penn College, support students at Penn State Harrisburg, support students at the Employment Skills Center, support students maybe in the future, Elizabethtown College and others. Okay, I know you can't read that. That's an eye chart. And I was thinking, well, I'm glad I didn't include any price tags, although we've given considerable money to HAC and the others. So these are numbers. Bottom line, you heard, in fact, I saw, thank you very much, John and others, your flyer here. Well done. That was as of that day. So since then, and given the money that we've pledged, so we're now up to 270 let me try that again, 270 veterans, because they're not all students at these colleges or universities. But we've helped 270 veterans to the tune of $205,000. And of course, we're not done yet, particularly with help from you and others. Obviously, we welcome your assistance. And I will give a shout out to past District Governor John Anthony, who helped us during his year to think in terms of, well, let's expand Rotary Veterans Initiative beyond just the 2 clubs. So we now have a member of the Rotary Club of Hershey that's part of our steering committee. I would absolutely be overjoyed if the Rotary Club of Harrisburg were to say, hey, one of these people wants to be on our steering committee, and we're happy to do that. And obviously, we're looking for financial assistance. This shows all the ways to do that. I should have mentioned right up front, we're a project of the Foundation for Enhancing Communities. So I'm sure many of you are familiar with that. And there's a web link there. One more time, if you don't mind. In other words, I'm sorry. So next slide, please. I know we're bumping up the time. We're done, aren't we? There's other ways to give, as you would expect. So there they are. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you so much for sharing information about Rotary Veterans Initiative with us. Now, normally at this time, I present a little token of our appreciation to our speaker, but I have something better for you. At the September board meeting, the board for the Rotary Club of Harrisburg elected to recommend to the Harrisburg Rotary Foundation that we make a gift of $1,000 toward this event. We know it's after the event, but you'll be receiving that from the Harrisburg Rotary Foundation.
Thank you very much.